Warning, this is a family-friendly radio. Children of all ages are welcome to participate.
This is my grandpa's geocaching talk show.
Hiker James After Cache is sponsored by Cacheface.social. Like to meet new friends, share your photos, tell stories about your caching adventures? Go to Cacheface.social. You might be surprised that some of your friends are already there waiting for you. So try it out today. It's free and it always will be. That's www.cacheface.social. See you there.
And now for our latest news.
Hello and welcome to Hiker James After Cache episode 11. Today we have a few things and we're going to come up with a couple of birthdays for this week that we have collected off of Cacheface.social. And we're going to have an audio from K&B, Ken and Billy from Arizona with their trip to the geocaching block party this year, which was just a couple of weeks ago. And so they made us a audio telling us some of the fun that they've had. Also, I am going to tell you the story that Crazy Critter 1966 and I had this weekend as we were out geocaching to try to pick up a few more points, and we ran across one that was listed a 1.5 by 1.5, which is difficulty 1.5, terrain 1.5. Well, we had a little different rating on that one after we got done, but anyway, we're going to talk about that. And also maybe throw in a couple other of the caches that we found that we gave a favorite point to. Also, we're going to have Lookout Lisa today on her question of the day that she sends to me each week to put on the show. And so there we go. We're gonna start out here somewhere here and see how it goes this week.
We'll be back after this commercial.
Geocachers, check it out. FTF Geocacher Magazine, the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios, and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Check it out at www.ftfgeocacher.com. All right, then let's get started with some other information here. Let's go first to Lookout Lisa and see what kind of question she has for the week. And Lisa, it's your turn.
We recently asked, what is your find rate or caches found per day? Well, after telling all the answers, the average find rate is 2.394 caches per day. So here's what we heard. Callahan Matt on Twitter said, 1.49 overall, but 2.38 so far this year. I'm determined to keep that above 2 until the end of the year. That's a great goal. Well, Mark on Facebook shared, officially it is 0.6957, but we only found 10 caches in our first 3 years we were members of GC.com. between 2010 and 2012. Since I got a GPS and started using it in 2013, the find rate is 1.772. You know, I did see a similar pattern with many cachers reporting that they started caching then quit for some time, only to come back strong months or even years later. I've seen this over and over again and really wish we could solve that problem of getting folks more, well, consistently hooked right away. And for those wondering, my find rate is 1.7477 caches per day. I did get a slow start, but there just weren't too many caches to find back in 2002. Well, as always, we really enjoyed hearing about cachers' find rates, and you can too if you follow us, Cache Advance, on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus for the geocaching question of the day. Thanks and happy caching.
Okay, now we're going to go right into K&B, Ken and Billy from Arizona. Ken was my co-host on the other geocaching show that I ran for almost a year and a half, and so we're pretty good buddies out with him and his wife. So they had went to the geocaching block party up in Seattle, Washington this year, and they visited some family of theirs, and I can say that they did have fun, because just listening to the audio that he sent me about their adventures up there, it was awesome, and different things that was going on and whatever. So we're going to just go ahead and run that one right now and let everybody else enjoy what they had to say.
Hi, Hiker James, K&B
here from Arizona.
Just wanted to give you a recap on our vacation to Seattle,
Which was a blast.
It was a blast. The weather was phenomenal. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better for the weekend.
No rain.
No rain. We started out Friday afternoon at geocaching headquarters for the HQ geocaching tour.
Yeah, we wanted to get a head start on that.
Yeah, wanted to get a head start. We know Saturday was going to be the big day for
Everybody to be out and about, so
we, before we left, had our passports printed out, and off we went. And that was just prior to that Friday night for the Geocaching International Film Festival. And during the Geo Tour, I'll get back to the film festival, but one of the highlights of the Geo Tour was called Troll Droppings. And that was cool. That was cool. And that is GC20Y24. And while we were there doing the tour and at the cache, it just so happened that there was an event taking place within the hour from the person putting it on was White Wolf Den.
From Nevada.
From Nevada.
Which we know.
Yeah, and he is one of the creators of the ET Highway. So we ended up coming back for that event, and I think overall over the weekend we did out of 3 days 4 events.
It was pretty cool.
So that was one of the highlights of the tour.
There was a couple other caches that were pretty cool. There was one that was a phone booth. You actually had to type in a phone number, and the bottom popped out for you to get the cache and sign the log. And then there was another one that was a newspaper stand. That was pretty cool.
And you can find these by going to geocaching.com and clicking on community and clicking on tours, and there you can find the HQ geocaching tours. So once we finished that, we went to the film festival. It was in a nice big park. We took the grandkids, our son, daughter-in-law, and took some blankets out and just laid them out on the grass. And it was a really good time. And there were some really ingenious and
I think there was like 16 films from around the country.
From around the world.
Yeah.
Some pretty good ones. And I think one of my favorites was one from Washington. It was called
Geocaching with Sasquatch.
Geocaching with Sasquatch.
That was good.
That was a pretty good one. So I think these will probably be coming up pretty shortly, probably on YouTube.
Yeah, I probably can see them on YouTube already.
So the next day we knew it was going to be an early day, and this was for the block party. And we got to geocaching headquarters, and they had the treasure chest with
that was cool.
With there was all kinds of stuff in there. You Signal the Frog, and there was probably a line to sign the log and to see everything that was in there. And we ran into Lookout Lisa from Cash Advance and got to visit her booth and some of the other booths that were there. So we took off a little bit later after seeing all the booths and the other things that were going on there to finish our tour. And we did. We finished our tour. They actually had a small tour for the kids. A small tour for the kids where
they had to fill out. They actually had to answer questions to the caches that were there, and then after they filled out their book, then they returned it back into the booth, and they all got a little prize.
Yeah, they could pick out some of their own little swag, and some of the stuff were some travel bugs.
Yeah, a medal, a bag.
A badge. Yeah, so it was. They had a lot of things to do for the kids too. So as we were finishing our tour, the grandkids were doing their own little tour, and I think they got a lot out of that. So on Sunday morning, there was another event.
Going Ape.
The Going Ape mega event.
You know, we weren't going to do it. We him and hawed and thought about it and stuff, but our fellow geocachers that are in our area and stuff were like, that is something you have to do. That is one thing that we recommend you guys do. So we decided, let's do it. So we did. Going
back to the block party real quick, towards the end of the day, we ran into
Peanuts or Pretzels.
Peanuts or Pretzels, Josh and Liz. Very nice folks. We got to talk to them for a few minutes. And, they were on their way to Hawaii, I think it was.
Yeah, their next adventure. Because if you follow them, they're always on adventure around the world. So that was pretty neat to meet them. But going back to Going Ape mega event, there were some caches to get. One of the second oldest geocache in Washington State to get to was called Iron Horse, and the GC code is GC79, and it was placed back in 2000. So that tells you just by the code about how old it is. That was pretty cool.
To get to this cache, you had to go through this 2-mile abandoned train tunnel in the dark.
Complete dark. We all had flashlights, but that still wasn't enough light.
It almost wasn't enough. There was people on their bicycles, with their dogs. I seen one person in a motorized wheelchair.
Yeah.
just trucking along through this tunnel, and it's funny when you start walking through the tunnel and it starts to get dark. You can't see anything on the other side. And it's like, okay, well, we're in for this for the long haul.
And it's dripping water in some spots out of the ceiling.
And there was actually an earth cache in there. And I think we got that one.
It was for the different stalagmites and stuff like that that's growing in there because it's so dark and the moisture. And it was pretty cool.
And we, you do it with, a few hundred people.
And they even put a monster in there.
There was a monster in there. But even with, hundreds of people coming and going with their flashlights, there were still points where there really wasn't anybody, that it was still really dark. And you're looking ahead and you think you see the light. You're like, well, is that just a flashlight or is that the light at the end of the tunnel? But when you finally do realize that that is the light at the end of the tunnel.
You get a little excited. You're like, oh, there it is, there it is.
There, yeah. And it stays so, you just see this little speck, and it seemed like it took forever for that thing because it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like there was no end.
Yeah, and there's actually a cache inside the cave. It's called Bloody Fingers Dirty Diapers.
Yeah, there was a cache in there too. But when you got to the end of the tunnel, the views
it was gorgeous. It was so worth it when it just opened up and you just see the mountain range and the trees, and it was spectacular. It
was, and then going to the geocache, and like I said, that was like a 6-mile round trip, and I really got to give it to the grandkids because
they did really
they
did
a good job,
Troopers.
and the thing with the tunnel is the inside temperature of the tunnel
is 30 degrees.
30 degrees colder than the outside temperature. So we were prepared.
Brought jackets.
We brought the kids' jackets, and we all had jackets, just to prepare for that. And there was also another, besides the second oldest geocache in Washington, was kind of I guess it's a replacement cache of one of the 8 caches. It's exactly where
the original was.
Where the original 8 cache was.
We actually ran into Sasquatch. We found him.
And Sasquatch was there at that cache. So we were actually geocaching with Sasquatch.
Yeah, it was cool.
And the only thing that really bummed us out was the only thing we really, and everyone made it out of the tunnel in one piece, and we had lunch. And but the thing that we really wanted to do to complete the trifecta of the week was to go to the original stash
in Oregon. And we missed it.
And we missed it because we were talking to friends a couple of days prior to that, and they did it a couple of days prior to that. And it
took them 8 hours round trip.
8 hours round trip, and
we could have done it, but with 4 grandkids, and that's a long drive to expect them to sit for 4 hours and be good, and then go see 1 cache or maybe 2, and then drive another 4 hours back.
So, and that happened to be on our 15-year wedding anniversary. We wanted to do it, make that a special occasion, but hey, we'll get up there again. We kind of know the area now, so we'll get up there again. Maybe we'll plan a weekend and
just fly to Oregon and just go do the original cache. And fly back home.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
So that's almost it for that week. We did some other caching around. The week we were there.
Yeah, trying to get our boy hooked.
Our son is hooked now, so he really likes the puzzles.
Yeah, and the multis. He likes to do all that figuring out and stuff. That's his thing.
He's a puzzle guy, so hopefully he'll get in a little more of that. And in those 3 days doing with the Geo Tour and the all the events we did, we actually finished our 7 souvenirs of August.
That was pretty cool.
So we're in a weekend we finished that. So all right then, I guess that's it.
That's it for our weekend.
So until next time, we'll catch you later.
See ya.
Okay, well, we thank you for that there, Ken and Billy. And there is I don't think I want to go caching with Sasquatch, but it'd be nice to meet him on under the circumstances that you all met him with. And wow, the tunnel part there, that sounded like that'd be an awesome thing. And I guess that when you go on something like that, you want to take extra batteries with you, and make sure that you have a short rope tied between you and your other half, so you don't get lost from each other. Of course, with flashlights, if there's enough people out there in that tunnel, I imagine that it might have been pretty well lit up. But anyway, all the stories and everything, especially the telephone cache and the newspaper box. Yeah, that sounds like y'all had a great time. I know you did, and I can't wait to hear some more stories of what you two have been up to in this summer, since I don't have a whole lot of contact with you like I used to when we was doing that show together. But good to hear from you both, and keep on cashing. Yeah, that's your favorite saying there, is keep on cashing, cash you later. Thanks, Ken and Billy, for this audio. All right, now we're getting on a roll here. We're going to do some birthdays this week, and we have two of them that are this week. One of them is today, and another one is Saturday. So those two birthdays fall in this week's show. It means that this show starts out on a Sunday, and this is something new that I've just started. This is my first time with that. And we are members on cashface.social, and up there they have birthdays that when you sign up for cashface.social, your birthday goes into the birthdays link, so it shows up every week if anybody has a birthday, and you can click on that and wish them happy birthday, or any message that you want to say on their timeline. So this week, the birthday for today is Dennis P. And he's 52 years old. Yeah, happy birthday, Dennis. And I hope you're enjoying your day. And also for Saturday, September 6th, is Eddie Watson. And Eddie will be 59 years old Saturday. And if you're a member of cashface.social, go up there and wish them too a happy birthday. And if you're not a member of cashface.social, go up there and check it out. And it's for geocachers. It's a worldwide website. And I'm sure there will be a lot of people that will welcome you there. And go see if you have any of your friends that's already on there. It's a nice website, and like I say, it's for geocachers to hang out and show their photos, tell their stories and their adventures of their geocaching, ask questions, get answers. It's really a nice place to be. So there's your chance to learn more about geocaching from people all around the world.
We'll be back after this commercial.
Hello, fellow geocachers. We would like to take this opportunity to introduce TravelFleas.com. We are a company devoted to expanding your fun and adventure while geocaching. It's always exciting when you discover a cache, and for many of us, it's even a bigger thrill when there's a trackable hidden inside the cache. Discovering a trackable and being able to move it along its journey involves us more in the game. Now you, your group, and your clubs can become part of the journey by attaching your own personalized travel fleas to a trackable and go along for the ride. What are travel fleas, you ask? They are brightly colored, durable metal tags personalized with your geocaching username. Instead of just signing a log and moving on, let other geocachers know who you are by attaching your personalized travel fleas tag to a trackable and join the journey. To purchase your personalized travel fleas, visit our website at travelfleas.com. Happy geocaching, the team at travelfleas.com. All right, I got my travel fleas on my travel bugs that I found out there in geocaching, and they're making some miles, and it's fun. And so check it out yourself and get you some today. And they're very reasonably priced, and well worth the effort to purchase some. Okay, well, I'm going to have to start talking about my little stories here of Crazy Critter 1966 and I, which Crazy Critter 1966 is the other half, and if it wasn't for her, I might not been able to do my show today, because Saturday, and we had found a cache. I'm going to give you this story first, because it was amazing that I even survived. But we was looking at it on geocaching.com, and it says no horsing around. So we thought that we were out in the country, and we thought that maybe we might see some horses out there while we're doing our cache. We had found another geocache here a while back that said say cheese or elk, and there was elk out there in their field, and they've had a big fence up, and we was there and looking for some elk, but we didn't see any that day. So being that this one said no horsing around, that's what we thought. And as we got to the cache, there wasn't any place to pull off the road and in the direction we was going. And there was a 90-degree turn. It was all going uphill. And so I said, well, we'll go up here and see if there's a place to turn around. And so after we made this 90-degree turn up this hill, there was another curve going back 360 degrees, I guess you'd want to say. It was an awesome curve there, and it was like we was out in the hills. I mean, we was out in the hills. So we finally got a place to turn around in someone's driveway. And when we went back down to where the cache was, being that I had the four-wheel drive Durango, I just moved off the road and hope for the best that if I sank in, that four-wheel drive would pull me right back out. And turned my flashers on, because we was still a little bit on the road, right on the edge of that 45 degree angle curve. So I would have to draw a picture to show you what it looked like, but I can't put a picture on here. So anyway, we get out of the car with the flashers on, and it says I'm 9 feet from it. And so we go to this tree, and there was no reason to have a cache there at that tree. So I looked over and I saw something suspicious down this hill. It was about 30 feet straight down this hill. There was a big tree there with a big hole in it. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a hole in a tree. It's rotted out, and there was this huge rock leaning up against the hole. And I says, geocache! Yay! I found it! And so Crazy Critter, she stayed there by the car with her camera, and why she didn't take any pictures of this, I don't know. I think she was more interested in watching me get down the hill, because after I took my first step, I lost my footage, and I slid the whole 30 feet down this hill, trying to catch my feet, and it wasn't working. I hit my rear side once and got right back up as I was sliding on that, and was trying to step sideways and still sliding and carrying on, and finally GZ stopped me, and right to the tree. That's where I took my second step since I left the car. I know that had to have been funny, but at the time it was scary. So anyway, the rock, I couldn't move the rock. I could lean it back, and as I leaned it back, the container was right there behind the rock. Well, I'm glad that she didn't try to go down the hill with me to find it, but I grabbed a container and was going to come up to the car and let her sign it, which it took me a lot longer to get up the hill than what it did to get down. And I kept slipping and sliding. I was about halfway up the hill, and I just couldn't get any traction at all. And even with these hiking boots I got on, the dirt, the loose dirt, the leaves, there was small branches and sticks all over the ground, and it was like trying, you know what I'm talking about. So I told her, I says, grab that big long limb right there. And there was this limb probably about 10 feet long. And she drug it over there and leaned it down towards where I was at. And she grabbed a hold of the end of it, and I don't know if she sat on it. I know one time she stood on it, but she did all she could to hold back the end of that limb while I grabbed a hold of it and pulled myself back up the hill. Now, we're getting ready to sign the log, and I'm thinking, I have to go put this back. Crazy Critter says, just put the lid on it and throw it down there. I said, no, that's not going to work. I said, that they want you to put things back in where the way you found them, and I can't aim at that tree that good, to make it land behind that rock. So I know I had to go back down that hill again. So I did it the same way I did it the first time. I slid all the way down that hill. Now this is rated 1.5 and 1.5 difficulty and terrain. Oh boy, I got down there and put it back, and I started back up the hill again, and well, being said I've already slid down it twice and slipped myself up the hill once, it was even worse the second time up there. So finally made it back to the top and got back in the car, and oh my goodness, my legs was aching, my hips was aching, because that was a 10-10 exercise that I just did. And so we made sure that we posted it that it was definitely not a 1.5 by 1.5. So wow, that was definitely a good cache. I gave it a favorite point because I survived. Yeah, I survived that one, and that was a. I hope I never run into one of those again. So, well, if I do, I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna put my rope in my car now. I got I think it's a 50-foot, maybe a 75-foot rope for climbing and helping me get up and down the hills easier. So that would have been real nice if I'd have just had that with me at the time and put that around the tree and just let myself down by the rope. And so that, there's always you always find something that you need after the first time you need it, and it's something that you've always got laying at the house, but never think that why would you need a climbing rope for a 1.5 and 1.5. So that was the story of that cache there, and now I know the meaning of the name of it, where it says no horsing around. Okay, well, before we get too much farther in, I want to let everybody know how they can get a hold of me to tell their favorite story or adventure of their geocaching for the week or weekend. You can send me an email to radiotalkshow hikerjames2013@gmail.com. You can also send me an audio, voice audio at, you can go to speakpipe.com/hikerjames, and that's HIKERJAMZ, and you can leave a short 90-second audio there, and if you need more time than that, just send that one and then start another one to continue with your story. Also, on my homepage, hikerjamestalkshow.com, you will find over on the right hand side there, top of the page, how to make your own audio from your computer and email that to me, so that way you can make an audio like K&B did, and make it as long as you want, as long as you don't make it the whole 45 minutes. We'll say we go up to 30 minutes on a story, and that way you have plenty of time to get all the excitement and adventure in to make the story worth listening to. We also have a phone number. This one is I can record our conversation on here and just upload that. And now this phone number, I only take calls Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern New York time, and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern New York time. And that number is 937-381-9343. That's 937-381-9343. And that will get you to the phone here in the studio. Okay. Wow. Let me run back there on the other story that we did on our geocaching this week, for which one we gave a favorite. Oh, okay, yeah. I just remember this one. This one, it's been out there a long time, and I always wanted to find it, and I always thought I knew where it was until I took my GPS with me one day, and wasn't quite where I thought it'd be. But we was looking at it, and GZ took us right up to this building, and it was a building that was for rent, and there was a tree in front of it, like a cedar tree. There was a lot of wood stacked up, like little slats of wood, probably about 12 inches long, and maybe a 1/4 inch by 2 inch pieces of wood. And but we're over there by this tree looking everywhere for this, underneath all these little pieces of wood, and in the tree and around the tree. And I took a step back. There was somebody had a garden hose. There's a water faucet right there, and somebody had a garden hose all rolled up and laying on the ground. And I went to step back, and I was watching that I didn't trip over that hose. And there was this old can laying there, like a little spray can or whatever. It was an old can anyway. So, just laying up against the little concrete thing there with the bushes. They had some flowers and stuff growing there, and it's like at the edge of this building. And I picked it up because it looked like trash, And when I picked it up, I seen on it. Somebody had taken a black marker and wrote geocaching container. The bottom was out of it. They took the bottom out of it, and they had put a pill bottle in there, camouflage pill bottle, that was just big enough to go in, but yet it was loose enough to come out. And that's what they had used for the bottom of this can. And right out in the plain wide open, it lays this can on the sidewalk next to a building. Now, how stealth is that? we gave that one a favorite point because we was all over the place looking for it, and it was right there. It would have bit us on the foot if it had been anything else. And so that was exciting. That was I never got any picture of that one, but you can imagine how we felt after finding out that was the geocache. And then the last one that we found 9 of them, but I only got stories on 3. This one took us to a residential area where they had a little pond like out there, and a little walking path, and a bench and all that. And it says private property, for the community only. I guess you had to live there to do that. And GPS took me to the fence, and we're looking all over the place for it. We went across the street. We came back. We thought it was in the bushes by the little pond. We went over there. We're here and there. We're everywhere. And I looked at the hint, and it said something about being smelly. And the first thing I'm thinking of is, the pond has got dead fish around it, and it's going to smell like fish. And then it said something about drain, drain. Oh, maybe that's the drain that to keep the pond from overflowing. So we get back in the car, and Crazy Critter says, "What about that water drain there in the street, in the curb on the street there?" And okay. Well, that was about 8 feet off from where the ground zero was supposed to be. And I was okay. I shut the car back off, and we went over there and looked. And on this drain, the cache was up underneath that on a magnet, and there was a picture of a fish on the drain where they had stamped that when they made it. And I thought, well, there's the fish. Anyway, we had fun and we enjoyed ourselves this weekend. It rained off and on, and we got wet off and on, but nothing major. And we really enjoyed getting out in the cool weather. It was like only in the upper 70s here yesterday. Yeah, hey, that's not bad for almost last day of September. So anyway, look, we're running out of time, and we hope everybody had a good time with the show today. Tell your friends, your family, tell your geocaching buddies about our show here at aftercache.com. And I'm your host, Hiker James, and get those stories in here. Give us an email, give us a voice message, give us an audio, whatever it takes to get that story to us, and we'll play it on the air. And if it's an email, we'll read it on the air. So everybody have a wonderful day, what's left of it, and a safe week coming up. And we'll talk to everybody next week, same time, same place, here on aftercache.com. So until then, like K and B says, cache you later.